Khamzat Chimaev put on one of the most dominant performances in UFC history in his title fight with Dricus du Plessis. And there's a lot of people questioning if there's anybody in the division that can deal with Khamzat's wrestling. And honestly, I'm not sure if there is. The way he's able to control people, the way he's able to enter takedowns, it's just perfect. He's just so elite. He's so strong. And as we just saw, his conditioning isn't all that bad either. So to beat Khamzat Chimaev, you got to be a guy that ticks off a lot of boxes. Number one, you got to be able to handle Khamzat's pressure and his relentless takedowns. I mean, that's easier said than done. Not a lot of people have been able to stop that, if any at all. So, I mean, that's a big thing right off the bat. Number two, you need to have excellent distance management, because if you're going to be defending Khamzat's takedowns, that means you got to be striking with him as well. But you can't enter boxing range because he's just going to shoot in and get a hold of you and take you down. So you got to be at a far and you got to be picking your shots. That's going to be tough too, though, because Khamzat is great at closing the distance. So, I mean, you got to try and keep him away, and you got to be doing damage to him as well, because you got to slow him down somehow. I don't think judo, jiu-jitsu, or any other sort of wrestling will be enough to handle Khamzat's wrestling. I think anywhere on the ground, Khamzat will dominate. Honestly, the perfect type of fighter to beat a Khamzat, and I don't even know if it would happen, would be an Anderson Silva, prime Israel Adesanya type fighter who has really good takedown defense and can strike from afar and pick dudes apart with their kicks and do a lot of damage. It'd have to be somebody like that. I mean, obviously those two type of dudes don't come around very often, so there's that too. But not only would you have to be able to do that, but you'd have to be able to stop the takedowns, which I'm not even sure either of those guys could even do against Khamzat. So let's take a look at some of the other contenders in the division. Let's take a look at our options. So of course, pretty soon we have Nasruddin Imavov versus Caio Borralho fighting each other in the UFC Paris main event, the #1 contenders fight. The winner of this will be probably the next dude to fight Khamzat. So this is a big one, and if I had to pick, I'd probably say Nasruddin Imavov is going to win this, just because I think he has more tools. So let's say Imavov, for example, fights Khamzat. Khamzat's a better wrestler, obviously. Imavov is the better striker, I would say. Can Imavov wrestle? Yeah. Can he grapple and clinch against the fence? Yeah. Does he have good takedown defense? Yeah, I guess. Is it going to be good enough against Khamzat? No, I don't think so. I think what would happen in a Khamzat and Nasruddin Imavov fight is pretty much what happened in the DDP fight. Khamzat would take Imavov down and he'd control him. And honestly, it'd probably be worse. Khamzat would probably end up getting a submission off, because I'm not sure Imavov would be able to handle Khamzat on top of him for 5 rounds and fend off any submission attempt that Khamzat would have. Now, although I think Imavov would beat Borralho, stylistically, I think Caio is a much better matchup against Khamzat, because he knows how to wrestle and he's a much stockier and bigger dude. So naturally, I think on the ground, he would be much stronger. I don't think he'd give Khamzat too many issues on the feet, because I don't think his striking's that good. But on the ground, I think he could kinda, sorta, maybe give Khamzat problems. And he also trained with Khamzat before too, so he kind of knows maybe a trick or two. Maybe he knows different things that he can use on Khamzat. Who knows? But either way, I would say he has one of the better chances to beat Khamzat in the division. I think there's 2 other potential dudes that could give Khamzat problems as well, though, and they happen to be fighting each other too in the UFC Vancouver main event. Renier de Ridder is taking on Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, and these are 2 guys who love to be on the ground as well. Both of them are great grapplers. Both of them have great pressure and are just great all-around fighters. I'm not even sure who's going to win this one, honestly. I think it's a 50-50. I really, really don't know. I think if I had to pick, I'm going to say RDR, just because he's just so unorthodox, and maybe he could do something to Fluffy that Fluffy can't see coming. Otherwise, I don't know who's going to win this fight. But as for matchups against Khamzat, I think Anthony Hernandez could actually be a pretty good matchup. He has the wrestler type of style. He has the pressure to deal with Khamzat. I think he can put it on Khamzat. I think he can kind of push the pace against him as well, and maybe kind of use his game against him. Maybe that's how you take out Khamzat. Who knows? Either way, I would probably back Fluffy Hernandez to have probably him or Borralho. I think probably have the best chance in the division against Khamzat, I think. But besides that, I mean, it's really just Renier de Ridder. And de Ridder, I don't know how a fight against Khamzat would go for him. I think it would go pretty similar to DDP because I think they're pretty similar fighters. I think RDR would try a lot of the stuff he's been using in some of these recent fights, a lot of the knees, a lot of strikes up close, but Khamzat's just going to take him down. And once RDR is on his back, I think he's going to struggle to get back up. So I don't think RDR would be a good matchup for Khamzat. I think the two best matchups in the division right now for him are Anthony Fluffy Hernandez and Kyle Barallo. But I still don't think either of them would beat him. So am I saying Khamzat Chimaev is pretty much invincible? I mean, as of now, it kind of seems like it. To be honest with you guys, I thought DDP was the dude that could beat Khamzat. I thought he had the best chance in the division because, number one, I thought his wrestling was a lot better. And number two, I thought he was a lot stronger and would be able to hang with Khamzat for 5 rounds. And I didn't think Khamzat had the cardio to go all 5 rounds with DDP. I was definitely wrong about that, and I was definitely wrong about DDP. Do I think Dricus du Plessis is still an elite fighter? Absolutely. Do I think he is champion material? Of course. Do I think he has any chance against Khamzat Chimaev in any encounter they ever have in the future? Absolutely not. And that's just a testament to how good Khamzat is. Yes, it wasn't the prettiest of fights, but it was a very dominant performance. And he showed that his wrestling is probably the best in the UFC right now. Yeah, Merab Dvalishvili is really good. He's probably right there with them. But besides him, I don't really know if anybody is as dominant as Khamzat is. So I think Khamzat, if he stays active, if he stays out of trouble, could be a champion for a very long time. I don't really see anybody coming up right now at 185 that can give him issues. And yeah, Khamzat seems to have aspirations to go up in the future, up to 205. That could be interesting. And I think that's where you could see Khamzat really challenge, because 185 to 205 is a massive jump. There's some massive dudes up there. And I think if he gets locked in there with a dude like Ankalaev or another, even a Pereira, yeah, he'd probably take Pereira down, but will he be able to hold him down? Is the strength at light heavyweight too much for him? Those are question marks that I want answers to. And honestly, I hope that we do see Khamzat move up to 205 in the future, because frankly, at 185, I think he's just going to dominate. But there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev and who actually has a chance to beat him in the division. Clearly, as you saw, I don't really think anybody does, but if he goes up to 205, I think things get much more interesting. Thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to like and comment if you enjoyed, and also check out some of the other videos I have on the channel. No pay-per-view or fight night this weekend, so not a ton to talk about, but there's always things going on in the MMA world to discuss, so that's what I'll be doing. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you all in the next one.